Good morning, everyone, and thank you to Rahul Valavalkar for inviting me for this session. Sorry I could not be there in person, but please take my compliments for this very interesting event, and I wish you all the very best for your discussions. So, from the perspective of ANRF, Anusandhan National Research Foundation, it is a new statutory body that has been established by the Government of India to drive research and innovation and transform research and innovation in India as an apex body for India. This particular body is chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister, and I am privileged to serve as the first CEO of this organization. We will also be working with all the secretaries of different parts of the government and the Principal Scientific Advisor as part of our role, and they are also part of my board. So without further ado, the ANRF is to some extent also inspired and motivated by other organizations across the world, such as the National Science Foundation, DARPA, and other similar national research foundations across. It was first conceptualized in the NEP, National Education Policy. There is Chapter 17 on NRF, which looked at this as an important building block for driving cross-disciplinary research and something where single-line ministries were finding difficult to support. Right. So that was the primary goal, as well as expanding the capabilities of our universities, systems, and both deepening the excellence in our top universities as well as broadening the research base across more universities. That's the original idea. Then before it became an act and the governing board met, in this process, ANRF also has acquired a flavor of doing special vertical missions, which we have just recently launched a mission on EV or electric mobility more specifically. And we have several other candidate missions and potentially grand challenges, special challenges that we'll be launching over time. The goal here is not to replicate what a single line ministry does, but to complement them if there is already a mission. For example, in semiconductors and AI, we'll be doing complementary things, perhaps grand challenges with them, with other line ministries like biotechnology, health, or other areas, and MIT, who takes care of information technology and so on. We'll be doing other things. So I've been reaching out to my colleagues in different ministries, and over time you will see us launch either full-fledged cross-disciplinary or cross-ministerial missions with them or across them, and then we may also do some things a bit smaller, maybe grand challenges and so on, right? And in all of these missions or National Science Foundation type horizontal broad-based programs, which are at the top of the funnel or the early stages of research, basic research, interdisciplinary research, teaming research, we will also be finding mechanisms for industry to co-fund and be participants in earlier stages of the research. Now we will give them more mechanisms to participate. In addition to industry, we are also working closely with various foundations who are interested in supporting research. These foundations could be charitable foundations, or in addition there could be family offices also who are interested in supporting research, large family offices, or there could be CSR or corporate social responsibility. So if you do have connections in any of these and who are interested in partnering with us, please talk to me. And again, industry consortia or organizations such as IASA, NETRA, or others also have an important role where they can bring together or aggregate industry participation and work with us. So we are going to have many mechanisms, the small, medium, large type things where we can have participation, because our goal overall, what we're trying to solve for is not just increase in aggregate R&D spending in India, but also the composition of that spending, or I would say the distribution of that spending, where government becomes more of a catalyst and then we see a lot more industry spending on research and innovation. If the theory of the case is that ultimately you don't want government to run industries in the long run, goal is to catalyze, de-risk at the early stages especially, and both more of the broad-based and of course specific vertical areas which are of themes of national importance or missions of national importance. We're going to be pushing hard on those areas, but we would be really asking the industry to step up, because it is time for India to start becoming an innovation nation and a research nation. Whatever has been the past is not going to be the future. We are going to be aggressively moving forward, and we would invite industry not to be left behind. Otherwise, there will be a competitive dynamic where we will work with the folks who come forward and move this forward. Since this is also an audience that has a mix of participants both from industry as well as international, I also want to mention that we welcome international participation as well in our program. ANRF has an FCRA clearance. We can accept and partner with international foundations. We can partner with international companies who are willing to work with us, and we'll make life easy for you in terms terms of closing deals and being one point of contact for partnering as well. I want to mention this in the context of net zero because climate change, sustainability, energy transition is very close to my heart. I have been working in this area professionally for several years in my past roles in IBM Research, GE, and Microsoft, where I was a CTO earlier. We will intend to potentially launch mission or a grand challenge type programs in these areas for sure. Please do reach out to me if there is interest in these areas, especially of partnering and so on. So in addition, we will be doing specific things in AI as well in partnership with the India AI mission around AI for science and engineering research. Science and engineering can be now directly modeled in AI as opposed to being indirectly modeled and then just knowledge discovery being done through AI and reasoning, etc. Right? So we are going to be looking at significantly moving forward in the space as well. And so this is another area where we intend to move fast. And then the application areas, whether it's using AI, etc., to accelerate various areas of net zero transition, whether it's the classic renewables or driving portfolios of renewables into electric markets or other forms of decarbonization, such as including how to accelerate biomass to chemical intermediates pathways. We'll be partnering with DBT, who have a Bio E3 initiative and a biomanufacturing initiative out of India. So we have several challenges there where many of these are information problems. Wherever there are genomes and other things that are sequenced, which is excellent area for accelerating and so on. So that's another area we'll be doing. And again, these are not just the only areas, but if there are specific areas you're interested, I already mentioned we are running a program around electric mobility in a mission mode. So there'll be other possibilities. In terms of forecasting, we are going to be partnering with MOES on getting both the data from satellite data as well as some of the forecasting. They run our Indian meteorological services. So we'll be aggregating data from them as well as looking at, they have a specific mission called Mission Mausun to look at forecasting, which is obviously relevant for renewables and other areas. We will be doing a lot of interdisciplinary work and focus on driving solutions to these areas, and also these should lead to value chain creation out of India or societal impact in India and so on for us to justify the public investment in these spaces. In terms of the horizontals, we are also going to be driving a lot more of people mobility programs and other programs that are complementing the investments of the Department of Higher Education. I know there is a wonderful program called the PMRF, Prime Minister Research Fellowship Program, and we are looking at a wide variety of people mobility programs, including internships, visiting to India, visiting out of India, and also participation in our entrepreneurial ecosystem, entrepreneur residence programs, top-up programs. All of these are on my mind, including postdoc and other programs, right? So we'll be doing many things in the space. Finally, for infrastructure, we'll be looking at getting infrastructure more shared. I'm talking about research and innovation infrastructure, whether these are microscopes, telescopes, or other sorts of things. Of course, for GPUs and so on, we'll be partnering with our MIT colleagues. And so in terms of co-funding and partnerships, we'll be allowing multiple mechanisms. One is for partners to co-fund our existing programs, or for larger partners who may want to run their own programs, we're also going to have a flexible or a catalytic co-funding model where we can invest alongside them if there are significant programs. This is called a catalytic funding model or a plus ANRF model. So overall, to sum up, I have a depth and breadth mission. We'll be using AI in everything we do. I come from the world of AI and applied AI specifically, so I'm closely plugged into some of these things. From a net zero perspective, again, this is something very close to my heart, and we will intend to move really fast, and India will be a leader in this space. So I urge you to come and work with us as we push forward from the point of view of government and all of society, all of government, all of society for solving problems. Thank you very much.